What's up, you all? This is Hussein Nasser. I am a software architect in the GIS technology. I have been working with GIS, Geographic Information System, that is, since 2005. I started as a developer, a programmer, building GIS applications on top of the ArcGIS platform. Back then we had the 9.1 version and I started as a developer there. I built more than 30 to 40 applications on top of the ArcGIS platform, and I made my way up, and now I am an architect. I'm a GIS architect. I design solutions, and I really wanted to do something that from really long time ago. I wanted to start a channel for GIS education, for educational purposes. And specifically, this channel will talk about programming with the ArcGIS platform. So that's why IGeometry was designed and was built for this particular reason, to give you guys the educational knowledge for building applications on top of the geographic information system platform. So a little bit about myself. As I told you, I started as a GIS developer. Now I'm a software architect. My knowledge is with utilities, that is electricity and water. So I work a lot with engineers. I wrote 2 books. I authored 2 books. The first one is the Administering ArcGIS for Server. The second one is Learning ArcGIS Geodatabases. Both are available on Amazon. I'm working on my 3rd book, which will be released in November. But I really wanted to start this channel to just, transfer my knowledge to you guys, because you have been sending me emails to get personal training or courses for the GIS. So I thought I would start a channel for free for you guys, just to talk about programming in general, and is specific to build application on top of the ArcGIS platform. And after all, this is my specialty. So what we will be talking about is, I'm gonna start a series of episodes. The first series is I'm gonna call it .NET Programming with ArcObjects. So if you know ArcObjects, or you know a little bit of ArcObject, you come to the right place. I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna start from scratch. You don't have to know any programming skills. Of course, you have to know basic programming, like concepts, like variables, declaring variables, loops, and structures, classes. But I'm gonna talk about all this in my videos anyway. So this videos is dedicated to every GIS personnel, to be specific. So even those who has GIS knowledge can watch these videos and learn how to code, basically. So the first video, well, this is the first video apparently. So this is the getting started. It will show you what do you need to program on top of the ArcGIS platform, what languages, what IDE, what's the development environment. So I will be developing using .NET, specifically Visual Basic, because I'm a VB guy. I started with VB, and of course you will need ArcGIS platform, which is ArcGIS for desktop. We'll be developing on top of ArcGIS platform. So the .NET environment is available. You can download the Microsoft Visual Studio 2012, which is available in the description below, and along with that's for free. The Express version is free. If you have the professional, that would be great, but Express is really enough to start rolling the dice. And for ArcGIS, of course, ArcGIS costs a fortune. So fortunately, you can download it for free for about 60 days, trial version for 60 days, and we can develop on top of that. So that's a good news. Esri lets you download it and gives you a free license code for 2 months, which in my opinion, and it's renewable, so you can, if it expires, you just go to the site and just get a new license, so it's not a big deal, I think. So really you can start from scratch here. So I'm not gonna install the products because it will take a long time to install, so I'm gonna have them installed for you, but I'm gonna put the links where you can download these software in the description below, and you can go ahead and download them and install them. Make sure, this is very important, underlined, make sure to install the Visual Studio Express before the ArcGIS for desktop. It's very important for the plugins, because if you don't do that, you will not be ArcGIS will not detect the Microsoft Visual Studio, and it will not install. Basically, it will not install the plugins that we really require to develop on top of ArcGIS. So this is the first part of hopefully a sequence of parts that we will work together on. So we will have to develop one application, and gradually we're gonna add inject new functionalities in this. So this is an application on top of ArcMap. It's called Bestaurants, which is the best restaurant, stands for best restaurants. And this is actually, it will help, it is a tool, it is an application that helps the user to search for restaurants, to add a new restaurants, maybe filter restaurants, order by categories, search for a particular restaurant by name or by address, make different symbologies for restaurants. We'll think about it. I don't have the full idea now, but this is the theme that we'll be running through. So let's get started. So first, we will have to start with Microsoft Visual Studio 2012 Express. So start that up. It will take some time to load depending on your RAM, and of course Microsoft demands more and more memory as they progress through their versions, so we have to cope with that. We will start a new project. Our project will be a DLL file. I hope you know what a DLL is. So it's a dynamic link library. It doesn't exist by itself. This is like a virus. It has to attach itself to something, to a host, in order to work. And in our situation, this host is, guess it? It's ArcMap, which is the executable, which is ArcGIS. So we're gonna start new project, click on new project. I am a VB guy, so I'm gonna write in Visual Basic. If you install everything correctly, including the Arc object, you will see a new node here. It's called ArcGIS. Expand that and click on extending ArcObjects. And then we'll create a new project for ArcMap. You can create projects for so many other Esri platforms, but we'll start with ArcMap. So let's go ahead and name our project Restaurants. I don't like this folder. It's too far away and I always lose it, so I'm gonna create my own folder. So I like the C drive. It's short, it's the root, it's easy to find. So I'm gonna create a new folder here. Let's call it IGeometry projects. Everything will go here. This is our channel. And we will create our project, Restaurants. So let's save here. So the name of our project is Restaurants. It will be saved here, create solution. We don't have a source control, so everything seems in place. Go ahead. This is a DLL. Okay. Now ArcGIS ArcObject Wizard is asking us, what do you want? What DLLs do you want? Frankly, I don't know. So do yourself a favor, just select everything. And believe me, it doesn't take that long to load. Just select everything, and when you're done programming, just use the function unused references and remove whatever you don't need. So this is the best approach, believe me. I've been working for this for 10 years. Don't select one by one, because you'll get frustrated searching for an interface in a particular DLL. So just add everything, and that's it. Finish. So this will take a bit while because we added all these references. And these are the ArcObject DLLs that we installed. These DLLs, every DLL has a certain functionalities, has certain interfaces, classes. So some of them deals with the geodatabases, some of them open work requests, some of them helps you draw shapes and symbols in the ArcMap interface. Some of them deals with the application itself. It allows you to change the application. And here we go. We have completed this. So first thing I have to do is I want to save. And before I continue, I'm expected to make a lot of mistakes. And I'm not gonna edit through these mistakes in the video. Why? Not because I can't. I can, but I want to make this as realistic as possible. I want to make this as a classroom. So when I make a mistake, we'll follow that and fix it together, even if it takes forever, right? So hopefully it will not, but we will learn through this process. So let's go ahead and delete this. We don't need that. This is just a class that is created by default. So the first thing that we create here on ArcMap, we can develop on top of ArcMap so many things. We can develop a menu. We can make our application as a menu. We can make our application as a toolbar, as a button, as a small button on the side, dockable window, so many things. So the easiest thing is a toolbar, because ArcMaps consist of a collection of toolbars. So we will add a toolbar. A new toolbar can be added by right-clicking on the project node, select add, and then choose, class. Now, of course, you will have ArcGIS. You will have, of course, you can add class, module, code file. This is just the basic thing. You can do that. You can add a pure native class and then implement the right interfaces to implement a toolbar. But Esri or Esri, all right, they by the way, they hate it when you when you say Esri. I spoke with them, and sometimes I say Esri instead, and those guys hate it. It's just don't call us Esri. We are Esri. I said okay. So Esri helped us with this. So we can. My wife is laughing. Okay. So ArcGIS extending ArcObject, and we're gonna select BaseToolbar. That is our toolbar. So let's give it a nice name. It will come with its own code. Everything you have to do, it's already done here. It's pre-coded for you. So let's call it Restaurants Toolbar. So this toolbar will have a list of commands or buttons. A toolbar cannot exist by itself. So Restaurant Toolbar, I'm gonna add that. It says what kind of toolbar do you want? Is it for ArcCatalog, ArcGlobe, ArcScene, ArcEngine, or ArcMap? Of course, ArcMap. So as you can see, the Prog ID has been generated for you. This is a very important ID. This is what identifies your toolbar. This is a very important key. It's a unique identifier, Prog ID, that Windows knows that this is the toolbar for ArcGIS. And of course, GUIDs, leave this intact. Don't change anything here. So what else? As this is just a class, it's named Restaurant Toolbar, and it inherits from BaseToolbar. So BaseToolbar is a class located in the ADF library. I don't know how to show this. Show all files, yeah. So it's located here. So BaseToolbar is a class. It's an abstract class that have all these functionalities that a toolbar should have, and it's there. It's just lying there. So you inherit from this concept and bring all this code here. It has only two things, two main properties. What's the caption? What do you want? What name do you want for this? Not name. It's a caption. So what do you want the display text to be on ArcMap? So that will say restaurants. Just one restaurants, nothing. Or we can call it restaurants application with a space. You can use a space here. It's just a text. And the name of this is a unique. Make sure this is unique. So restaurants toolbar sounds fine, I guess. Let's stick with that. So we have our toolbar. The thing is, this toolbar, even if I compile now and run, you will see a simple toolbar and it's in empty. I don't want to do that. I want to go a step more and add a command in that toolbar. So how can I do that? It's easy. Right click on our project, add a class. And this class is a special class because it is a base command. You guessed it. Base command is again a class which has a lot of code in the ADF interface, in the DLL, and it has all this functionality. I'm gonna inherit from that class. So let's call it CMD. What should we call it? This is a simple class. So let's go ahead and call it load layer, load data, because we're gonna use it to load data. But in this video, I'm not gonna load the data because it's too advanced. We're gonna start small, right? Don't be scared. So let's start. Desktop ArcMap command. Let's do this. So there you go. CMD load data, and again it has its own Prog ID. It needs to have Prog ID because ArcObjects is developed on top C and C++, and it's all COM. So it needs these
native representations to identify the class. Whereas if you are developing on top of .NET, pure .NET, native .NET, you don't need these things. So this is a very important thing. So let's start. We're gonna leave the GUIDs as it is. This is how they identify it, the registration. This is how ArcMap registers, or actually Windows registers this application so it belongs to ArcMap. This is code that has been written for you. You don't need to write it. This is very important. IApplication, our first interface of ArcObject, our first encounter of our first encounter of the ArcObject interface. IApplication, I'm gonna use this a lot. This is the first object that you will be dealing with, and this is the first that get passed by you, to you, specific, by you. So we have to fill in some important information here. A command, unlike the toolbar, can exist by itself, so it needs to be grouped. So you have to put it in a category. So let's call this category restaurants tools, okay? And whenever we're gonna add a new tool or command, we're gonna add it to this category, so it is properly sorted in ArcMap. This is ours, don't touch it, right? So this is the caption. How do you want it to look like? Restaurants, this is not restaurants, no. This is load data. The message is load data. Tooltip. The message is a lengthy description. I always get mixed up between those two. The message is load data into ArcMap from external files, for example. Okay? And tooltip is actually just the header. It's always get me confused. So load data. And the caption is that when you don't have an image, it displays the caption instead. So the name is important. This should be unique. So I'm gonna use the restaurants tools underscore load data. So this is a guarantee unique. I didn't show you something that came with this command. It's our bunny. This is the logo for IGeometry. You like that? This is the default. By the way, this is the default command for every command you add. It's always gonna be this rabbit. All my bosses hate that rabbit. They just hate it because we always, when we develop anything, we keep this as a default image, and it pops up at clients, and it's not funny. It's not funny. It's used now. It's funny. Not much then. It wasn't funny. Yeah, he would shout at us. Anyway, so there is a button. You can change this image. You can play with it. I'm not gonna change anything now. So this is the new. This will get called when ArcMap executes. It will initialize a new button object, and we'll call this function, and we'll set all these parameters, so you can add your code here. But be careful. IApplication is still empty, nothing. It's nothing. Nothing has been set to this. This is just a declaration. IApplication is actually ArcMap itself. Wow, yes, it is ArcMap itself. So how come our little project that was coded separately from ArcMap somehow gets attached to ArcMap? We will find that now. It's all because of this baby, OnCreate. OnCreate is a method, and this command, this method gets called when ArcMap is initiating. It will what ArcMap does is basically this. It will say, hey, what are the commands that has been registered with me? Let's give them to me. So ArcMap does like So he makes a huge loop into all these commands and calls, and since they are all implements the same interface, they will loop through all commands, ArcMap, and will call the OnCreate method, and it will pass the hook. The hook is what? Is the application. That makes sense, right? That's code. I didn't write this code. It is written by default. So if not hook is nothing, if it's not nothing, take that and cast it to an IApplication because he knows that it has to be an IApplication. Takes this IApplication and voila, we have our M application. I don't use, by the way, M. I just when I declare private variable, I just use underscore and the variable. It's just stupid. Modular. I just use underscore and the variable. It's if it indicates that it's a private variable. So okay, so we have our IApplication here. This is just to make sure that it is an IMX application. What is an IMX application? So I guess I have to draw you something here, guys. So not sure. Is there a notepad here? Yes. So IApplication is on the top. It's always on top. That's what she said. Okay. IApplication is always on top. Comes under it ArcMap, ArcCatalog, ArcGlobe, and ArcScene. All these applications implements IApplication, and of course each one has its own application. So ArcMap, they call it MX application. I have no idea what MX stands for. Don't ask me. Those Esri guys, they just I don't know. And our catalog is GX, IGX application. So this is not very crucial to know right now. This IApplication will do. So it's just treat the IApplication as it is. So there is it. We have our IApplication. And the most important thing is the OnClick method. So what happens, what do you want to do when you click on the button? What I want to do is load the data, but I don't know how to load the data right now. Why? Because this is not the first, this is the first part. You'll freak out if I started opening workspaces and shit. So what I will do is simply say message box, hello world. Okay. Are we done? Not quite yet. We added a toolbar, we added a command. Did we link those two? No. Why did you assume that they will automatically be loaded? Yes, they will not be loaded. They will not be linked directly. So you have to do this job yourself. So first, you have to know that in the toolbar, in the new, you can use this add item. So add item is a method inside BaseToolbar which adds an item to the toolbar. Can't make it more clear, guys. It's as clear as it gets. Okay, so we need to put the Prog ID, the ID of the command, which is the load data command. So let's go. This is our Prog ID. Copy and paste right there. That's right. Save, and we're done. Not quite. We have to build the application. Okay, so let's build the application. The moment we build the application, hopefully we'll not get any errors. Oh my god, there is an error. Says cannot register, access denied. Please make sure you're running the application as administrator. So I have to run this as an application. I didn't know that. Okay. Let's close this again and run this baby as administrator. Okay. So if you face this problem, there you go. I'm not gonna cut through this part. Run as administrator. I hate this in Windows, by the way. It doesn't make any sense. I am an administrator. Why should I run as administrator? Open a project. Where is our project? That's why I saved it in a very nice place. See, IGeometry, restaurants, open and get loaded. Hopefully it will allow me to compile now. Right click, build. Hopefully we don't get build succeeded. Wow, okay. So the moment I build, these babies get somehow they got executed. So this DLL is already registered. Okay, where it is registered, where it is located, it's here. It's under compile, debug. Let's make a better effort here, okay? So restaurants, I'm gonna make folder here called binary. Not here, sorry. Delete. Restaurants, all binaries goes here, okay? I like to have a folder where everything is in the same place. I don't like my things to be scattered. So let's see, register as for com interop. This will be automatically checked for you because you added an ArcMap project. If you add a fresh Windows or a DLL project or class project, you have to do all these setups that I'm not gonna go through now. It's lengthy. Maybe later, I don't know. So we have built the application. Let's try to debug it. So we're gonna debug the application, but to debug we want what? I cannot select the application here. Working directory. I don't seem to find this. Anyway, let's just build it and start ArcMap. No need to debug. So let's start ArcMap. ArcMap 10.2.2. So this is now where it happens. It just loaded quickly all the DLLs, and when I right click here, what is this? Isn't this our application? How come it's here? Huh? That's fun. By the way, you cannot see the name because this is too short, but you can see that load data is a tooltip, and load data into ArcMap from external files was actually the message, right? Where is this? It was actually the message. There you go. This was the tooltip, the message. So when I click on it, hello world. Not very interesting. Hello world. Okay, so we proved that we can write code on top of ArcMap, but it's not yet interacting with ArcMap, isn't it? So let's close this again, and we do something more fancier. So we're going to display a message, and then after that message, I am going to change the caption of ArcMap, the text. So our application, when you say dot, all these nicely methods come and properties. We have this caption. We'll start with that. Equal. Let's make it restaurants application. Nice. Application.caption restaurants application. So we're gonna change the name of ArcMap title to this. This is a very simple thing, I know, but you have to be patient with me, guys. I have to start small. Okay, we're gonna do all these nice things later. Okay, so let's build that really, and start ArcMap. I'm gonna send ArcMap to the desktop just to make my life easier. Double click. Loading, and there you go. Next time when you load it, it will automatically be loaded. It's just the normal.mxt. It remembers where things are. So let's click and then pay attention here. This is what? Can you see the mouse, by the way? I don't know if you can see the cursor. Hopefully you can see the cursor. I hope you can see the cursor. Oh my god, I'm freaking out. I don't know if I showed the cursor in the video or not. Okay, so untitled ArcMap gonna change to Restaurant application. So I'm interacting with ArcMap itself, right? That's nice, isn't it? So I think let's stop here and we're gonna continue with this application in the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it and stay tuned.